Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Good morning. I guess it's 1 o'clock here on the East Coast. I hate these early games. I do apologize real quick. I just sneezed like 30,000 times 2 minutes ago. But this is beautiful. The Minnesota Vikings come away with a very nice win, 21-17, game-winning drive. Carson Wentz, we'll get to it. We're going to break down this whole football game, and anytime you play the Cleveland Browns defense, you never know what you're going to get. They are so good. I mean, they took down my Green Bay Packers. I know the Lions just took care of them, but it is a hard team to beat. So obviously, this isn't Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is down here, and I did find the play calling very fun in this football game. I know it is kind of a weird game. Now, Josh Oliver is just going to leak on out here. Cam Akers, it seems like they almost don't realize that this is a running back. They're in the Wildcat formation, and he just easily, great throw from the running back, Cam Akers, finds Josh Oliver wide open for the first touchdown of the day. But we got a lot to break down and go through, so let's get into it. All right, so I don't have too many defensive clips other than this. They had a couple of sacks. I know Ivan Pace got one. This is just a nice wrap-up tackle on a third down from Harrison Smith here. I wanted to say, because you're going against Dillon Gabriel, he's making his NFL debut. You don't really have film on Dillon Gabriel, and I do just want to give him a little bit of flowers here. 19 of 33, 192 touchdowns, no interceptions. Obviously, the Vikings defense ended up getting the better of them, and they did a phenomenal job. This Vikings defense in the fourth quarter did a phenomenal job of halting drives for the Cleveland Browns. But Quinshon Judkins, the dude is a star. He ran for 110 on this Vikings defense. Finally, the international games are over for the Minnesota Vikings, and they come away with a huge victory to get back to 3-2, above 500 in this game. And we'll do a defensive film study, but I did just want to say, Gabriel looked pretty solid. A lot of dink and dunk, a lot of short stuff. They ran the football a lot, and the Vikings defense bended a little bit. They did not break, but only gave up 17 points. Definitely put this team in phenomenal position to win this football game. So this clip starts a little bit late, but Justin Jefferson had a phenomenal football game. 7 catches, 123 yards. Folks, I can't understate enough how important this victory was, and I thought Carson Wentz played a really good game. They did give up 3 sacks. You have to keep in mind, no Donovan Jackson at left guard, no Ryan Kelly at center, no O'Neal at right tackle. They had like 3 new guys. Darisaw is still playing. Right guard Will Fries was in this football game, but they have 3 new offensive linemen, including their left guard, making his NFL debut, if I'm not mistaken, at least his first ever start. Definitely his first ever start. But after this, you hit your bye week because you just had 2 international games, so thankfully that's over. Philly, Los Angeles, Detroit, Baltimore, Chicago, Green Bay, Seattle, Washington, Dallas. I mean, this is a gauntlet of a schedule. I never really realized it, and obviously, the Chargers are banged up. The Ravens are banged up. A lot happens, a lot changes, but getting this win and going to 3-2, I thought was very critical. All right, we go to early on in the third quarter. This is a nice little Jordan Mason rushing touchdown, and that Browns defense, man, Myles Garrett, rookie Mason Graham, they've done a really good job of stopping the run this entire season. They literally upset my Green Bay Packers a couple of weeks ago, which I'm still salty about. Which, by the way, hit that like button if you guys haven't already. Post a ton of Vikings videos over on this channel. Jordan Mason did get banged up at one point. He also lost a fumble, and so did Xavier Scott. Those 2 fumbles really changed just kind of the momentum in this football game. You don't want a fumble. You don't want a loss of a fumble. You definitely don't want 2. Jordan Mason also got banged up in this football game, but he was able to finish it out. 13 carries, 52 yards, still waiting on Aaron Jones to get healthy from the IR. As a whole, the Minnesota Vikings ran the football 23 times for 97 yards, averaging 4.2 yards per carry, and this touchdown. That is more than enough to get the job done against a stout Cleveland Browns defense. And yeah, they're banged up. All right, here we go. Game-winning drive. We've got Denzel Ward and Justin Jefferson in a one-on-one. Obviously, it's 1st and 10. There's about a minute and 30 seconds left in this football game. The Minnesota Vikings are down 3 points. Obviously, they can go ahead, get a field goal up there. Now they're in field goal range after this phenomenal catch and throw from Carson Wentz to Justin Jefferson. But obviously a field goal would probably more likely bring this game into overtime, and you're going to see the Jordan Addison game-winning touchdown here in just 1 second. But you have a bye week here, and first off, I just love this. The Carson Wentz connection to Justin Jefferson, the chemistry, the timing, it looks phenomenal. Justin Jefferson, obviously one of, if not the best wide receiver in the National Football League. I love how late he always brings up his hands, very last second, goes up, gets it. This ball is perfectly thrown from Carson Wentz. Once again, Carson Wentz had a really good football game, 25 of 34, 236 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, kept it clean, had a great connection with Justin Jefferson. TJ Hawkinson also had a couple of huge catches on this final drive. But no matter who the quarterback is moving forward, and just by the way, my opinion is, I still think Justin Jefferson or J.J. McCarthy is obviously the future. And when J.J. is healthy, I do want him to retain the starting quarterback position for the Minnesota Vikings, whether that's against Philly or whenever it happens. But that Carson Wentz J.J. connection, man, it looked really, really good in this football game. All right, here it is, game-winning touchdown. We're going to look down here. Now, I won't lie to you, I was a little annoyed by this touchdown. It's over now. I'm playing Jordan Addison in fantasy football, and this Browns defense did such a good job of eliminating him in this game. He only had, most of these catches were in the end of the game, 5 catches, 41 yards in this touchdown. But it's just fantasy football, man, and I'm more happy that the Minnesota Vikings came away with a victory than just, this Jordan Addison touchdown. Obviously, I'm just having some fun. But anyways, this is huge. I love it. And Jonathan Vilma loved this so much because this is Denzel Ward. And Jonathan Vilma and Kenny Albert, I don't know what it is. I'm not a huge fan of that commentary split. I feel like we're, 5 games into the season. I feel like every football game I've watched for the last week or the last 5 games of the season has had Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma. Not a huge fan, but not here. And that's like, I'm not even trying to make a big deal of it, even though I am right now. It's not that big of a deal. It's just not my favorite commentary split. I think it's very boring. It's a boring football game. But he was saying Denzel Ward's trying to bait Carson Wentz on this play, and you can kind of see it. We'll break down this all 22, but you see Denzel Ward. You can barely see Jordan Addison. Ward is definitely baiting Wentz into making this throw, thinking that he's going to be able to just go right up, catch this football, intercept it, game over, Cleveland Browns win, and Carson Wentz puts this right on the money. Great route ran from Jordan Addison. Great balance here. Catches this football. He could fall short. I don't think, actually, Minnesota does have a timeout. Cleveland's got none. There's like 25, 28 seconds left in this football game, and this is how you win. And yeah, man, Carson Wentz just really, truly did have a great football game. And when they needed to, they scored points. You're overseas, you're in London, tough loss, 3-point loss 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago to the Pittsburgh Steelers in Dublin. And this is just a win. A win is a win on the road in a different country against a really stout, really good Cleveland Browns defense. And yeah, that gauntlet of a schedule on the way here. Every win matters, and the Minnesota Vikings are 3-2. So folks, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Stay tuned for a Minnesota Vikings film study in the next day or two. But yeah, give me your thoughts, give me a grade, player of the game, anything like that down below, and we'll see you soon. Peace.